Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'll wait till this catches up a bit. Welcome to the halfway point of camp. It is July 15th, varying times depending on your time zone, but I'm in California, so it's 1 p.m. here. I'm Maddi. If you didn't catch the first write-in or haven't caught any write-ins that I've done previously, I am certainly not new to these, but I only pop up every once in a while, and it's always fun when I do. So hi, everyone's saying hi in the chat. Yeah, introduce yourself. Let us know if this is your first virtual write-in, your 15th, your 122nd. Everyone is welcome to these. They're pretty much the same. Was there an echo? Tell me if there's an echo. I thought I was using this thing is supposed to prevent an echo. I don't see that there's an echo. Okay, sorry. Yeah, everyone is like tuning in. Look at this. Kazatees saying hi from the UK. Alice and Clement is saying hi from the Pacific Northwest. Some people are hearing an echo and some aren't, which is weird. Make sure you don't have multiple tabs open, but there shouldn't be an echo because there's no feedback. Usually there's an echo when like the person is speaking and also has their volume on, and my volume is plugged into a headset, so there shouldn't be an echo. Now, woman, hi from Minnesota. Ochizoku Levy, hi from the Czech Republic, first time Nano, awesome, welcome. This is so exciting. Oh my goodness. Shreya Vatsana, hi from India. Samantha Marshall, hi from Maryland. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting, you guys. I love doing these. They're so fun. It's especially fun because I got to do the first day one, and now I get to do the halfway point one, which are you feel very different at those points in NaNoWriMo, and then even between like camp and Nano in November, those are very different feelings as well. So yeah, there's lots of tips and tricks to get through camp. I'm gonna go through them today, some of them anyways. Yeah. Are you guys writing going well? I know my writing, I'm a little behind. I have 2,200 words. Yes, 2,200 words out of 10,000. That 10,000 is like 300 words a day. Ironically enough, I've never won camp, no matter what my goal is. I've won every Nano I've done. I've done a good chunk of them. But I don't know what it is about camp. Maybe I just like don't feel like pressured enough, to keep going, because I'm looking at my like goal and like how far I am behind, and I think I'd be at 5,000 words, so I'm like halfway behind, 50% behind, and I'm like, oh, I can, like, that's 2 days of actual Nano. So I think about it that way, and then I don't do anything. So yeah. Kim 7 million. I love that screen name. Writing's going great. My goal is 1,000 words a day. That's awesome. It's a nice even number. Olivia Steinfeld, 20K out of 50K. Nice. That's a great point for right now. DC X-Ray, my goal keeps changing. That's a really great thing to bring up. Thank you for bringing that up. You can change your goal during camp. You can make it whatever you want. So if you don't know that by now you do. So if you're like, I'm breezing past my goal, I'm going to up it, you can do that. Or, oh gosh, life has gotten in the way. Like I really want to finish a goal, but it doesn't look like I'm going to finish this one. You can change it and lower it. So it's whatever floats your boat. CB 394, 41K out of 100K determined not to lower my goal. Yes, keep going. 41K out of 100K is amazing. Yeah, I'm just reading all your responses, and I really should be talking, but I'm not. Jillian Holerfield, 35K out of 60K. That's great. You're more than halfway. Kira Leal, 55%. I think I missed your actual goal. But I mean, 55% is great. I like feeling like on track. I'm not usually the type of person to rush past my goal, just because, like, why do more than you have to? Don't take advice from me. Okay, so we've done our introduction. Feel free to keep introducing yourself, keep putting your goals in there. This community is really supportive. Everyone's gonna cheer you on. But I will start on our very first prompt if you guys feel so inclined. So let me go to my little, I have my scripts here. We're just gonna do a really simple prompt to start off with. And I personally like doing single word prompts, just because you can do so much with it. And especially this word, the word we're using this week is pique. Now there's lots of ways to spell pique. I have put all of the prompts we're gonna do today in the dialog box below. So you can look at that. I have 3 spellings. There might be more, I don't know. You can even go, you don't have to use the word at all. Or you can like spell it like pick, or I don't know, spell it a different way, spell it an incorrect way. It's whatever you want to do, whatever inspires you. It is any pique you want to use. So this one, since it's the first prompt of this write-in, it'll be for 5 minutes. And I will set an alarm on my phone so we know when 5 minutes is up. 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, your word is pique, any spelling you so desire, or you don't have to use the word at all. What matters is that we are writing. Ready, set, go. 1 minute warning. And that is time. Go ahead and finish up the sentence that you're writing. If you were new, we just finished up our first prompt. What typically happens is you can put how many words you just wrote into the chat box, or you can put in a sentence that you really liked, and I will read off some of those word prompts or word counts and sentences when they start coming in. If you join late, I'm Maddi. I am a former intern at Nano. Now I still help out where I can, but not quite an intern, somewhere in between. Volunteer is probably the closest I can get. And I see all these word counts coming in. Awesome. I should probably count how many words I got too. Beatrix Core got 77 words. Victoria Cobb, 156 words. KK Miali got 148 words. Remember, any word count over 0 is excellent. And even still, like, you could be editing, because you can do that during camp. So you could have like negative words, and that would technically still be excellent because you're working towards your goal. Wabnica, really sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong, 140 words. B. Miller, 77 words. Erica Lee, 217 words. Ooh, okay, I see some sentences coming in. I'll read some of those. Those are a little harder just because I have to manually hold down the chat. Odell Linton wrote, "Say, are you outsiders? I've seen dead fish around here, but never the real deal. You two need help getting out of the sewer?" Wasn't expecting that. Ella Guy wrote 52 words. Naem edited 55 words. Or that's 55 plus you edited. I'm not sure. Michael Popovici wrote 125 words. Coral Fox wrote at least 125. Awesome. Emperor Supreme, negative 117. Yep, I feel that. I hope you're editing. I hope you're not just deleting. The Bog Wizard wrote 105 words. Luminous looked up and saw that no one was in the ballroom. She walked around, noticing just how spacious the circular room was without anyone in it. I always feel that way when moving. Everything looks so much bigger or so much smaller when you move. Let's see. I found one and then it skittered away from me because I wasn't holding the chat. There we go. Ashley S. wrote, "Ben, as though sensing her distress, he had given her honesty when she wished he hadn't. His honesty was the killing kind." The Killing Kind would be a fantastic title for a novel. I would probably pick that up immediately. Let's see. Bethany Louise is editing, but since rewriting the current scene from scratch, there's no deleting. Oh, very nice. Okay, please continue to put your word counts and your sentences that you liked into the chat. I love reading them. Last week I thought that the chats were not saved, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, but they are saved. Like, I'm going to read all of them. It's really exciting. I'm going to move to our discussion topic, the first one anyway. Since we are in the middle of camp, exactly halfway through, or maybe a little over halfway if your time zone is later than mine. But I wanted to ask, how you guys are able to keep the middles interesting. I know I really struggle with writing the middle of my stories. And usually, you know, when we have a story, we have how it's going to start and how it's going to end. So the middle often sags. And I've written enough nano novels to really feel it. I don't know if that's because of the density of time, like you just cram everything. So you're kind of just getting towards the end. But I can also read it in some novels that have been written during Nano and then published. I will not name any names because that wouldn't necessarily be nice. But you can kind of feel it sometimes, like, oh yeah, this is a Nano novel. Like I can feel this. So how do we either prevent that from happening or go back and edit it when we see that it has happened? And feel free to write your suggestions. I know for me, I tend to, like, you obviously can't do a perfect, oh my God, every second of the story is amazing in one go. That's just not possible. You shouldn't be holding yourself to that standard because that's not a realistic standard. But what I do is I will just write stuff that interests me, because if I'm interested in writing it, that's gonna move forward into my reading, and therefore when somebody reads it, they'll feel that, because it'll have that like pulse of excitement behind it. Alicia Connor tries to add humorous situations. That's a great way to do it, because you need some levity in a novel, whether it's light or dark. Yeah, and you need a balance. If you have a fully comedic novel, you're gonna need some like heavy points. Otherwise, it might not hold as much ground, and the reverse is true as well. Ella Guy, loads of internal conflict. That is great. How do you find that internal conflict? Do you find it before you start writing? Is that planned for you? Or do you find it as you start writing? Like, oh, I see that this could cause a problem for my characters. Let's really dig into it. You could do it either way. Either way would work. Ellen Porter uses an outline. That's a great way to do it. An outline to really structure your story is very, very helpful. I know for me personally, this is not for everybody. I get bored after I write an outline. So that's actually really dangerous for me. But I do know outlines are super beneficial to a lot of people, because then you know, okay, point A goes to point B goes to point C, and now I can connect point D to point B or something. Ella Guy develops characters in depth before you start. That is another great way to do it, because you have all of your characters' motivations set and ready to go. So if you understand your characters, you can think, okay, this is what they would do next, or this is totally not what they would do next. And like this, and these two characters would do these things opposite. So there's your internal conflict right there. Numau. Oh, I'm saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. Things of characters beforehand. Yes, absolutely. That's another way. It's like that's kind of a combination of our last two pieces of advice, right? You've outlined a character and you kind of know what they're going to do. Layla L adds plot twists in the middle. Yes, absolutely. You got to keep those plot twists fresh. That is a great way to keep it going. I know for me also, thinking of shows, TV, or shows, movies, books that do middles really well is very helpful, because obviously you're not going to like steal exactly what they do, but you can kind of get the gist of it. So for example, Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. do this really well, I feel, where they'll just move forward and they'll do the thing that you're predicting is going to happen, but they'll do it in the first 5 minutes and they'll move on from there. So they get rid of the typical middle that you would otherwise expect and move up the ending. So you have a brand new unexpected ending. And that's really fun. That really leads to deeper thinking and more creative writing, rather than just like, oh yeah, I guess this is what would happen. You get both. This is a recent book that I just finished. It's called Not So Pure and Simple by Lamar Giles. If you have not read the book, I highly recommend it, but he does the continuous like pushing forward of conflict really, really well. It's about a high school boy who's, gosh, how do I explain it? It's like a typical high school boy, but he's learning that not everyone is as they seem. I don't know how to explain it any better. It's just really, really good. And I think he pushed the story on with external conflict, internal conflict, a whole bunch of different competing motivations. And it was just a really excellent way to speed the story onward. So I highly recommend it. Not so pure and simple. Came out in March. Let's see. I feel like the chat is in a different conversation, which is okay. Please talk as much as you want. Yeah, Victoria Cobb says, I'm a plantster. I need to know the basics and then let the characters guide you. Absolutely. I've done nanos where I've planned nothing. And I've done nanos where I've planned a little bit more. And typically the nanos that are in between do the best. Not necessarily story-wise, but I enjoy writing them the most. Let's say that. That Ozian says, just keep throwing consequences in the characters' faces. Every action, no matter how small, changes something. Smack them in the face with that change. Yes, because that is so much like real life that you could do a really small action and it could have a huge consequence that you weren't even expecting. That's a really great way to do it. And I think the final question I have, does Nano help you get through middles easier? Because you're kind of propelled forward with that month deadline. Does that help? I'm not sure if it helps me, to be honest. Because sometimes I just write for writing's sake, and so maybe I get the words down, but the story isn't super great. But at least you have the words down and then you can edit them. A lot of people are saying yes. Nano super helps. Victoria Cobb, Ellen Porter, Marissa M. Yes, it stops me from giving up. Yeah, absolutely. You have so much support behind you. You have these write-ins. You have the forums community. You have your regions. So yeah, I see a lot of people feel like, yay, I'm glad Nano helps. That's awesome. McKinley Harrop, Nano hasn't helped me get through middles before, but this month it is because I'm determined to win. Yes, it's great to have that goal, right? Okay, please continue if you feel so inclined to continue the discussion. I'm going to move on to our prompt 2. This one will be, let's see, we'll do 7 minutes for this one because I think I talked a little long. Let's see. So like before, you can use this prompt or not use this prompt, but we'll be writing for 7 minutes. And our prompt is, if your character had to be stuck somewhere for a long time, where would they choose? Where would they never want to get stuck? Is it somewhere physical, mental, or emotional? 7 minutes, start writing or editing. Let me pull up a timer for y'all. Timer, 7 minutes. Ready, set, write. And that's time. I'm sorry, I was writing and didn't notice and give a 1 minute warning. My bad. But I hope that prompt helped you, or you at least wrote. Feel free to drop your word count or a sentence you really liked into the chat. Let's see, that OZN 148. Slowly coming in. I'm going to take a peek at my discussion topic. Paige Mallory, 279. Jade Clark, 234. GLK Rose, 209. Pucks and Paperbacks, 153. Hazel Witherspoon, 150. Lindsay, 348. Remember, any word over 0, or as long as you were writing or editing, is excellent. Amy Amato, 331, but didn't use the prompt. That's perfect, as long as you wrote. Laura Winter, 200 even. Oh, I love when they're even numbers. It makes me so happy. Yep, Imagino says DeNova, 200 words even as well. Lydia Hammer, 210. Elizabeth Simmons, about 120. Oh my gosh, you guys, these are amazing. You should be very proud of yourselves. Justine Shiva, 205. Let's see how much I've written. I've actually written these past 2 prompts, which is why I have been kind of late with the alerts. I think I've written like 200 total so far. Not too shabby for hosting as well. Yeah, throw in your sentences too. I could read some of them. Ronnie Hansen, 152. See, Mandy Berry wrote, "My brain keeps telling me to run. It's almost like there's something trapped inside me that wants me to move and could never stop. I don't think I should indulge it." Like that. Julie Johnson wrote 148. E. Miller wrote 144-ish. Leila L. wrote, "After school, Cam had charged up to me, his eyes lit with determination. I know how you can convince me your dog..." Ooh, when have I lost it? Oh no! There it is. "Your dog telepathy thing is really happening." Dog telepathy? Oh my, I wish I had dog telepathy. I just got a dog like a month ago and I would love to know what he's thinking. It would probably just be food, 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 toys, toys, toys. But you never know. Eleanor Reimer's done almost 1,000 words this session. Yes, that's excellent progress. I love that. Let's see. Lydia Hammer wrote, "There were butterflies in his stomach, but he didn't know why. It wasn't like he had to prove anything. The council had already made their decision, and there would be nothing he could do to change it." I wonder what their decision was. Anonymous X wrote, "The voices started to get louder, filling, not the space around me, but my mind." That is also telepathy, right? Ben Gramillion, "Gravity fell on Hope like a blanket of lead. Her body weight tripled in a heartbeat, and she fell face first to the mossy ground. Her companion thudded to the ground a few paces behind her." Oh, I wonder what's got them. These are so great, y'all. I love this. Please post more. I apologize if I haven't read your name out loud. They go really fast. I try to read different people every time, but sometimes I forget. So please continue to post. I love reading them. I hope you guys love reading them too, because it's very exciting to read other people's work. I'm going to move on to my discussion topic 2. I wanted to do a little writing lesson this time. I honestly might have done this lesson before because I really, really love it. I've not done it anytime recently because I don't think I've done a virtual write-in quite like this one in at least 3 years. I do the donation day ones sometimes, but I don't think I've done this topic before. So one of the only good pieces of advice that I received in my creative writing classes in undergrad was how to structure your story in a fulfilling way. And It's a really simple story structure. There's only 3 parts to it. The first part is your main character has a desire. It can be any desire. It could be a good desire, a bad desire. They could want to go to the store. They could want to rule the world. It could be anything. And that's what your story is about, is your character trying to get their desire. And that's the second part. Your main character tries to get their desire. And finally, the third part is your main character fails at getting their desire, but learns something. And that structure, as simple as it may sound, is very rewarding for the reader and the writer, as well as the main character. You can mix this up in any way you want. They could have a really terrible desire, and maybe, they could get it, and they could realize, oh gosh, that was terrible. That would be, in a way, not getting their desire. It's also very simply explained in the fable, The Tortoise and the Hare. So the hare wants to, the hare is the fastest and believes he's the fastest. And then he wants to race the tortoise because he believes he's the fastest. The tortoise challenges into a race, and he's so prideful that he lies down. He fails at winning the race, and he learns, maybe I shouldn't be so prideful. So super simple. You'll probably find it in any story if you pick it apart enough. It stands out more in short stories, not necessarily applicable to poems, although I'm not a poet, nor would I ever claim to be, because poetry is really, really hard. But in novels and in short stories, this format works really for a main character or a side character. If you really want to develop your side characters, it would also be super beneficial to fill out maybe your B storyline or their backgrounds. If you guys have comments on that, feel free to put them in the post or in the comments. Penumbra Mine and Ward wrote 989 in the last hour, laundry time not included. In the last 2 hours, sorry. Yeah, CB 394, pride goes before a fall, absolutely. Sarah M, that is exactly my current plot line. I think you mean the story structure, which is awesome. You're gonna feel really good when you finish that. Yeah. Okay, I don't have too much more on that, but this times perfectly with our final prompt. Feel free to continue to drop comments in the chat. Maybe I'll get them to them after. I don't know. We're gonna do 15 minutes for this final third prompt. You can follow the prompt or not follow the prompt, whatever your writing feels. If you start following the prompt and then divert, that's great too. Or you can start by not following the prompt and then follow the prompt. Whatever works, as long as you're writing. So often endings are predictable. We can circumvent this predictability by letting the predictable ending happen and continuing from there. This is kind of what I mentioned earlier with Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where they let the ending happen in the first act of the story and continue on from there. So your prompt is to just skip the middle. What if your character solved the problem right now? What are the problems after the problem has ended? That is your prompt. We'll do 15 minutes, and then we'll almost be done. Let me set a timer for everyone. Ready, set, write. 1-minute warning. And that is time. Go ahead and finish up your sentences. I see we have a few people who joined right at the end. I'm really sorry about that. But you can always go back and rewatch the virtual write-in. You can always go back and watch other virtual write-ins that we have. We have a huge stockpile of them. I swear there's like 300 or so. Feel free to drop your word counts and sentences you liked in the chat. I'm just going to read a few announcements because there's like lots of stuff going on in Nano right now, and I don't want to forget anything. So we are doing a drive right now for the Young Writers program, and we have already surpassed our goal, which is super great, but we're pushing for a higher goal now. And Marie Lu, the author of the Legend trilogy, which, side note, I highly recommend you read if you haven't, because it's a really good trilogy. She's doing a $5,000 match. So for every dollar up to $5,000 that is donated by Friday, she's going to match it, which is so great. And we really appreciate that. So definitely, if you can spare a dollar or two, feel free to drop it in a donation link. Everything I do is all volunteer based just because I really love Nano, and every dollar you contribute allows us to continue running these, allows us to continue running programs for free. So if you feel like you've gotten something from Nano, please consider donating. Let me see, got some word counts coming in. Yeah. Definitely subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, you can follow us on basically every social media channel there is. So if you don't have Twitter, maybe you have Instagram, follow us on Instagram. It looks like those of you commenting have a YouTube, so you can definitely subscribe to our YouTube page. You'll get alerts for all of these virtual write-ins, so you don't miss any, and you can see in advance rather than being like, oh no, there's a virtual write-in today. Let's see. Okay, let me read some of these before I bounce. Alicia Rinka, still making your way through the chapter 21 outline. Awesome. Outlining is a great thing to do during camp. I love that. Alex Boundary, 325, and follow the prompt. Didn't expect the story to go this way. Oh my God. That's actually really exciting for me. Let's see. I know I missed some. I'm scrolling back up so I can get some of your word counts. Sky wrote 373 words. AJ wrote 652. Marissa M wrote 419. Melons Welt wrote 633. Niam Byrne wrote 474, edited 474 words. Awesome. Flozy 1996, 490 words. Sparkle Hearts, 264 words. Beatrix Core, 207. Guys, these are so amazing. I'm proud of each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember that there are virtual write-ins all throughout the month. There will be another one next week. Catherine will be hosting it. I know I really love everyone's write-ins. Catherine's write-ins are great. So please join us next week as well. If you can't wait till then, definitely go check out the virtual write-ins we already have saved. You can see the chat as it goes, as I learned 2 weeks ago. I unfortunately will not be hosting anymore, but I will certainly be tuning in. Maybe I'll pop into the comments. Who knows? Maybe I'll be under a pen name. Oh. All right, everyone, please keep writing. Good luck on the rest of your camp projects. You are going to do amazingly. Remember, as long as you write, that's really the goal in the end. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.